As you leave a relationship in the early stages of a breakup, you may find yourself struggling with fully separating and differentiating your thoughts from the place of we to I and reclaiming your boundaries. And if you've ever had any tendencies towards codependence or enmeshment, this will be particularly hard. But there are a few very practical things that you can do in the early days to put in emotional and physical boundaries to help support you on your healing pathway. My name is Shelley, and I'm a specialized relationship coach helping individuals all over the world to transform their pain of heartbreak into important lessons and life wisdom. I also teach important relationship skills to help build strong and healthy connection. So in this video, I'm going to cover some boundaries that can be really helpful to work on in the early stages of a breakup. Number 1, going no contact. If you don't share children or a business, I recommend that you set the intention to make no contact for 3 months. After that, if you still crave connection, you might want to make this last a little longer. Set the boundary for yourself that you will not be in contact with them until you no longer wish to be in a partnership with them. And you're in a place of wanting genuine friendship without any lingering feelings of physical attraction. In some cases, it is eventually possible to be friends with an ex, but only if you feel uninterested in them once the oxytocin connection goes. And to break this bond, you need to cut the contact. This is no contact time, and it also allows you to refocus your energy on yourself. And your energy is one of the most precious resources that right now is very much that time to be reinvesting in yourself. So if you can, extend the no contact to mental distance as well by becoming aware when you're ruminating and you're in some kind of mental dialogue or argument with them in your head. Number 2, no stalking. After a breakup, it's so easy to mine social media for endless details about what your ex is doing now, because the brain goes into overdrive seeking what it's lost, and this can spill into stalking. Dwelling on their happy new life without you can make you feel like your heart's being ripped out, and often it's just a story that you're telling yourself, that they have already moved on, have already forgotten about you, and sometimes it is the case that they're already in another relationship. If you happen to see them with a new partner in person, it's 1,000,000,000 times worse. Brooding about all the things that you once did together, which they are now doing together, can drag your self-worth down into a very dark place. You can never really know for certain what's going on with someone else, and nor should you want to. Remember, it's time to refocus your energy on you, not them. In some ways, being dumped by my second husband felt worse than dealing with the death of my first husband. You see, when someone dies, there's no more bargaining that you can do. It's over. But it was painful seeing my ex move on as I struggled with heartache. Number 3, block and delete. A breakup is sometimes the ideal time to completely detox from social media. Not only is social media designed for social comparison, which some psychologists describe as a subtle form of self-harm, it can also be a way of staying in that kind of form of denial where you're hoping you might stumble across some information about something that relates to them. It's not a healthy place to spend time. I also often recommend deleting their number altogether. So if you can, if you don't have to have physical contact, or you've had no assets like a house to separate or children to co-parent, the relationship ends quickly and all contact stops, and you need to be the one to disconnect. This jumpstarts the healing process, and if they really need to reach out to you, there's always a way, but once you delete their number, it will stop you from doing things like checking when they were last on WhatsApp. So if you don't do this, you get coping fatigue, constantly picking at that wound. And the one thing my clients always say when they finally block and delete is relief. You can breathe deeper. The compulsion stops and the healing begins. Number 4, avoid too much information with your ex's friends and family. You may be close to family members or in that wider circle, and while it's possible to maintain a kind of connection, you need to make it very clear to them that you don't want your chats to stray into discussing how your ex is doing. Number 5, limit gossip with friends, because well-meaning pals may want to share information about your ex's new life. Even if you're dying to hear the gritty details, don't get drawn in. It's like being dragged underwater when you want to breathe freely. Rather, tell your friends how hard you're working to move on and ask them to skip the subject so you can heal. Bad-mouthing or manipulating the situation to show your ex up as a terrible person isn't an option either. If you need to explain, the ideal one-liner is, "We had different values," because this is genuinely the reason for an ending. One person wants commitment and something else changed where the other doesn't. One values something that the other values more or not. Whatever the reason was, that one-liner lets you offer the perfect explanation without going into detail. There are many other boundaries that can be helpful in the early days of a breakup, so follow your gut and do whatever works for you. Hopefully these examples will be, that good inspiration to get you on your pathway towards strength and freedom. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please remember to like, share, subscribe to my channel so we can continue this journey together.